Throughout history, some stories remain shrouded in mystery, cold cases where time has only deepened the shadows. These are not tales of triumph but of unanswered questions and vanished truths. Before forensic science, justice was elusive and secrets could disappear forever. We're drawn to these enigmas because they remind us that, for all our knowledge, some secrets remain locked away. Tonight, we journey into the darkness to explore 5 of the most compelling mysteries from before the 20th century. These are the stories that time could not solve. New York City, 1799, a burgeoning metropolis teeming with ambition and shadowed by secrets. Elma Sands, a young woman with dreams of her own, prepares to leave her home. She's planning to elope, running away with her secret fiancé, Levi Weeks, hoping to start a new life together, away from prying eyes and societal constraints. But Elma never returns. The promise of a new dawn fades into an unending night. Days turn into a desperate search. Then, the unthinkable. Her lifeless body is discovered in the icy depths of the Manhattan Well, a chilling discovery that sends shockwaves through the city. The scene suggests a violent end, a struggle that culminated in tragedy. Suspicion immediately falls on Levi Weeks, the man who was supposed to be her future, the last person known to have seen her alive. The whispers begin, fueled by fear and speculation. Witnesses come forward, claiming they saw Elma and Levi together on the night of her disappearance, their sleigh gliding towards the very meadow where the well was located. The evidence seems damning. New York City is consumed by scandal. The elite and the common folk alike are captivated by the unfolding drama. Levi Weeks is arrested and put on trial for murder, his fate hanging precariously in the balance. To defend him, an unlikely alliance forms. He is defended by none other than Alexander Hamilton and Aaron Burr, 2 of the most brilliant legal minds of the era, political rivals united by this sensational case. The prosecution meticulously builds its case, portraying Weeks as a heartless seducer who turned into a brutal murderer when Elma threatened to expose him. But Hamilton and Burr, masters of rhetoric and legal strategy, systematically dismantle the prosecution's arguments piece by piece. They cast doubt on the reliability of the evidence, raise questions about the timeline, and cleverly suggest the possibility of other suspects who might have had a motive. They argue that the marks found on Elma's body could have been inflicted during the difficult recovery from the well, not necessarily from a violent attack. The defense team strategically points the finger at Richard Croucher, another boarder at the same house as Elma, suggesting he might be a more likely culprit with a hidden agenda. After a brief deliberation, the jury, swayed by the compelling arguments of the defense, delivers a stunning verdict: not guilty. Levi Weeks is acquitted. Despite the acquittal, the shadow of suspicion lingers. Levi Weeks finds himself ostracized by society, his reputation ruined, and is ultimately forced to leave New York to escape the relentless judgment. The official case is closed, the files are sealed, but the truth, like a ghost, remains buried beneath layers of speculation and unanswered questions. Was Levi Weeks truly innocent, a victim of circumstance and prejudice? Or was he a cunning murderer who managed to manipulate the legal system and escape justice? The dark, still waters of the Manhattan Well hold their secrets close, guarding the truth about Elma Sands' murder for over 2 centuries, a chilling enigma that continues to fascinate and haunt us to this day. Meriwether Lewis, famed explorer, met a mysterious end in 1809 at a remote inn on the Natchez Trace. Traveling with important journals, Lewis was reportedly troubled and in distress. He stopped at Grinder's stand, where the innkeeper later described his erratic behavior. In the night, 2 gunshots rang out. Lewis was found mortally wounded, apparently shot in both the head and chest. The official verdict: suicide. But doubts linger. Could Lewis have shot himself twice with cumbersome pistols? Was he robbed and murdered for his money and journals? The innkeeper's story changed over time, and no formal investigation was conducted. Some suspect a conspiracy, perhaps involving political rivals. For over 2 centuries, debate has raged: suicide or murder? Lewis's lonely grave offers no answers. England, 1483, a kingdom teetering on the edge of uncertainty. The crown, a symbol of power and stability, was about to be plunged into darkness, shrouded in mystery and intrigue. 2 young princes, Edward V, the rightful heir, a boy barely on the cusp of manhood carrying the weight of a nation's expectations on his tender shoulders, and his younger brother Richard, innocent, vulnerable, their lives intertwined with the treacherous currents of royal succession, are taken to the Tower of London, a fortress steeped in history, a place of both royal residence and grim imprisonment. They were placed under the care of their uncle, Richard, Duke of Gloucester, a figure of immense power and ambition whose intentions remained veiled in shadow. Their father, the king, was dead, leaving a void in the kingdom and opening the door to a ruthless power struggle. The boys were, by blood and law, the rightful heirs to the throne, their claim seemingly unassailable. But their uncle, in a stunning act of betrayal, declares them illegitimate, casting doubt upon their lineage and their right to rule. And then, in a move that shocked the nation, he claims the crown for himself, becoming Richard III, King of England. The princes vanish from the tower, disappearing from the public eye, swallowed by the cold, unforgiving stones of the fortress. They were never to be seen again, their fate becoming one of the most enduring mysteries in English history. Rumors swirl, whispers in the corridors of power, secrets exchanged in hushed tones. Were they murdered on Richard's orders, a brutal act of regicide to eliminate any threat to his throne? Was their demise a calculated move to secure his rule, a dark stain on his reign? Shakespeare immortalized this theory in his play, painting Richard as a ruthless villain, forever cementing this version of events in the public imagination. But despite centuries of speculation, no definitive proof has ever surfaced, leaving the question unanswered. Some historians suggest that rivals, like the ambitious Duke of Buckingham, were responsible for their disappearance, seeking to destabilize Richard's reign. Others propose a more romantic notion, that the boys somehow escaped their confinement and lived out their lives in secret, far from the treacherous world of the court. Then in 1674, a discovery was made that reignited the debate and added another layer to the mystery. Skeletons of 2 children were found buried within the walls of the tower, fueling speculation that the remains of the princes had finally been found. These remains were widely believed to be those of the lost princes, a tantalizing clue to solving the centuries-old puzzle. But even with the advancements of modern science, DNA testing and forensic analysis have been unable to definitively confirm their identity, leaving the mystery unresolved. The Tower of London, a silent witness to history, continues to guard its secrets closely, refusing to yield the truth. And so, the fate of the lost princes, Edward and Richard, remains one of history's most haunting and enduring mysteries. A chilling reminder of the ruthless ambition and dark secrets that lie hidden within the walls of power. The story of Roanoke is one of early ambition, fraught with peril, and ultimately shrouded in mystery. In 1587, driven by dreams of a new world, over 100 English settlers embarked on a journey to establish a permanent colony on Roanoke Island, off the coast of what is now North Carolina. The expedition was led by John White, an artist and experienced explorer, who hoped to build a thriving English community. However, the early days were marked by hardship. Supplies dwindled rapidly, threatening the colony's survival. Faced with a desperate situation, John White made the difficult decision to return to England for help. Seeking vital resources to sustain the fledgling settlement, he left behind his family, including his daughter Eleanor and her newborn child Virginia Dare, the first English child born in America, symbolizing the hopes and dreams invested in this new land. Unfortunately, England was on the brink of war with Spain. This conflict delayed his return to Roanoke for 3 long years, a period filled with uncertainty and growing anxiety for the colonists. When he finally came back, after navigating treacherous waters and enduring countless setbacks, the colony had vanished without a trace. The settlement was carefully dismantled, suggesting a planned departure rather than a violent attack or natural disaster. There were no bodies, no graves to indicate a struggle or widespread death. The only clue was the word Croatoan, deliberately carved into a post, a silent message left behind. White had previously instructed the colonists to leave a sign indicating their destination if they chose to move from the settlement. Furthermore, they were instructed to carve a cross if their departure was due to distress or danger, but there was no cross to be found. Did they relocate to Croatoan Island as the carving suggested? Did they choose to assimilate with local Native American tribes seeking refuge and a new way of life? Or did they meet a darker, more tragic fate, succumbing to disease, starvation, or conflict? Unfortunately, severe storms and unfavorable conditions prevented White from conducting a thorough search of Croatoan and the surrounding areas. Heartbroken and defeated, he returned to England, forever haunted by the uncertainty of what became of his daughter, his granddaughter, and the other colonists. The fate of the Roanoke colonists remains one of the most enduring and foundational American mysteries, a puzzle that has captivated historians and the public alike for centuries. Their story, lost to time and shrouded in speculation, continues to be unsolved, a haunting reminder of the fragility of early colonial endeavors and the enduring power of the unknown. In 1845, Sir John Franklin led 2 advanced ships into the Arctic, seeking the Northwest Passage. The Erebus and Terror vanished after entering the ice, sparking years of frantic searches. Inuit accounts told of starving men dragging a boat south, and evidence of cannibalism shocked Victorian society. A note found in 1859 revealed the ships were trapped in ice. Franklin died, and survivors attempted a doomed trek to safety. The men succumbed to starvation, scurvy, and possibly lead poisoning from their supplies. In recent years, the wrecks of both ships were discovered, offering new clues but no final answers. The Franklin expedition stands as a haunting lesson in hubris, where even the best technology was no match for the Arctic's unforgiving power. The lost princes, the vanished colonists, the doomed explorers, these mysteries endure because they remain unsolved. Their power lies in the questions they leave behind, challenging our certainty and fueling our curiosity. The past is not fixed, it's a landscape of shifting shadows and unanswered echoes. Some secrets may never be revealed, serving as reminders of the unknown. As we leave these stories behind, the search for answers continues, but the silence of the past holds its ground. The mysteries remain, waiting for those who dare to look deeper.